Would you like to learn why I believe that DJI6930 is a massively undervalued meme coin considering its multi-narrative qualities in addition to being pre-meme coin supercycle? And why I believe that DJI6930 has still got 1000x plus gains ahead of it. If you love to know more, then make sure you watch on, because my name's the Superman, your superhero of 100 to 1000x gems. Now, if you want to be in on the alpha, not only on DJI6930, but other coins in the future, then make sure that you watch Superman live, because this is where, either advertently or inadvertently, I may be dropping other gems, which will be undoubtedly revealed here before they go potentially on YouTube, my main channel. So make sure that you watch this video, first of all, and smash a like on this video. So I'm just going to do that right now, just to be an addition to you guys, and subscribe if you haven't. So, where Dowge is right now, well, let me just get the price up. Where Dowge is right now is a 40 million market cap. Now, only in the last few days was this at 84, actually 90, I believe. Nearly $90 million market cap, having been out for just 2 weeks. So, this is now retraced near over 50%. Over 50%. You're probably thinking, why? Oh God, why? Right? Let me show you why. This is why. Right? In the last week, we have seen altcoin season go from nearly 60 down to where we are right now, 43. Now, granted, this is still a massive increase of where we were 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were at 20, right? So it has retraced. And also, something else which spoils the momentum of altcoins and meme coins is the Bitcoin dominance, which, as we saw, went down, crashed 6%. In literally since last Friday. Crashed 6%. But now it has gone up 3%. So essentially retraced a lot of that move. Right? So both of these in conjunction have actually not only hampered the growth of Dowge, but also the growth of other meme coins too. So this is an incidental effect on the market. Like, not every single coin is suffering from this. And not only that, but also macro markets are. However, let me just update you on a couple of incredibly strong bits of information which I believe are going to boost Dowge dramatically. Firstly, this. Okay, just in, Federal Housing Director Poulter says he is optimistic Jerome Powell will do the right thing as early as next week. The Fed will decide on a potential interest rate cut at next week's FOMC meeting. Now, it may or may not happen. However, I have said, and I've said since kind of the beginning part of this year, that I believe the second half of 2025 is going to be the most lucrative. And this macroeconomic, I believe anyway, boost is what I think is going to be perfectly timed with the potential top of the crypto market once again. Because 2025 is a post-halving year. The post-halving year is where you see the most violent and dramatic spikes across main assets and the hottest assets, and then where you see the ultimate conclusion of the market, right? So this macro factor is likely to coincide very nicely, as it almost coincidentally does every 4 years, right? Another bit of extremely important information is this. Everything Blockchain Inc., otherwise known as EBZT, has advanced a meme strategy spin-off, right? So this is a spin-off on like the MicroStrategy with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Reserve, right? So everything Blockchain is a NASDAQ company, right? So they are looking to put meme coins on the NASDAQ, essentially. And they have started a public meme coin treasury, of which they have started outreaching to Bonk, Pepe, SPX6900. Now, there are so many meme coins they could have chosen. For altcoin, tons of them, right? But let me tell you something. Bonk and Pepe are mascot coins, right? Basically, what Dowge is. Dowge is a mascot coin. A Shiba Inu mascot coin. Right? So, Bonk is the Solana Shiba Inu. Dowge is the Solana, not only TradFi Shiba Inu, SPX6900 rival. Right? So it's kind of multifaceted. So basically the three selections that has been decided upon for this public MEMECOIN treasury have all got qualities that Dowge possesses. So Dowge is not only a MEMECOIN, is not only a Shiba Inu like Bonk, a Solana Shiba Inu like Bonk, a mascot like Pepe, and a TradFi disruptor like SPX6900. What that means is that Dowge essentially ticks all the boxes, and if these particular coins are being eyed up by everything blockchain, then it just goes to show what tickles people's fancy. And that is a Shiba Inu, a mascot, and TradFi. All of which, and this is prior to this, because this only came out yesterday, this article. And prior to this, DJI6930 is an amalgamation of all of the best qualities of Bonk, Pepe, and SPX6900 before this even happened. So that's telling you that there is massive appetite for everything that Dowge boasts. TradFi, mascot, Shiba Inu, and a Solana Shiba Inu at that. Now, not only does Doge have these qualities, but Doge has so many other qualities. And in the last, week again, another 2,000 hodlers. Now, right now, we are seeing SPX 6900, which is, kind of 2 years mature at this point. And when you're 2 years mature, you've had more time in the market, more time to accumulate, more time to kind of absorb a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people's attention. And yet, that's only achieving 1,000 followers, 1,000 new hodlers a day. Not far off DJI6930. So it's spreading. It's really spreading. Why is it spreading? Because of all of the qualities it encapsulates, right? Let's start with them, okay? So first of all, Dog Meta. The most valuable cryptocurrencies are Doge, Shiba. They're both Shiba Inu cryptocurrencies, both Dog Meta. Doge was arguably one of the biggest multipliers last cycle. Shiba was without doubt one of the hugest, one of the top 5 biggest multipliers ever made in one cycle. It's a mascot cryptocurrency, just like Doge, Pepe, Popcat. It's a mascot, okay? It's identifiable, relatable. Shiba Inu breed. So 5 of the most pumpable, 5 of the biggest pumps ever is Doge, Shib, Flocky, Whiff, Bonk. In this market cycle, it has been Whiff and Bonk. In the last market cycle, it was Doge, Shib, and Flocky. So last cycle, this cycle, Shiba Inus are, without doubt, the most commercial appeal breed of dog. Shiba Inu. It just makes sense because it's cute. It stands out from Labradors, Cockapoos, whatever, Dobermans, German Shepherds. Like, it's cute, homely. And yet what we've got here is not the depiction of what we would typically see as Shiba Inu. So like right now, we've got Momo. Right now, Momo is a cutesy Shiba Inu, the sister of Bonk, right? Cutesy looking. That's very commercial, but going after a different market. So what Dowge has got is the kind of cuteness and appeal, a commercial appeal, whilst having the kind of aggression, determination, and focus and hunger of Wall Street, right? So it just completely is like Wall Street's version of Bonk, basically. Memes and memetics, right? So memes, you can see the memes, right, coming out of DJI6930. great use, basically insanely amazing use of the Shiba Inu of Wall Street, basically. If you look at the memes, and these are just mine, to be honest, not just the ones, not the ones I've shared or reposted, but just mine alone. And look at the amount of memes, so many memes can be created. And what you've got here is essentially kind of religious depictions. Okay, you are seeing the Dowge as a superior being in terms of what it stands for, which is that unlike Shiba, Bonk, and all the other Shiba Inus, this is one that has principles. This is a counterculture icon, where instead of it just being some basic meme, you know, some funny face or something stupid like that, like this has got identity, this has got characteristics, it's got personality, right? There is no sell, right? Buy, believe, broadcast. Wealth is for everyone. Like, it's a counterculture dog. The dog stands for counterculture. And you can tell by the, you know, enigmatic way that it's depicted of the three heads. Like, it has never been done before. Momo, Flocky, Dog with Hat, Shiba, Doge, they're all one-headed dogs. They all look the same, just with a different facial feature. Something very, very small. But what's happened here is with the Shiba Inu, like, it's a completely different Wall Street take on it. So it's iconic. It's a spiritual figurehead. And you can see that with the writings, like believe. No trading, believe. Manifesting, believe always. Like, it stands out. Like, people who would say this is a SPX dupe or a SPX wannabe are stupid, because it's nothing like SPX, whilst also being slightly like SPX. Like, it has, you know, the appearance of a movement coin. You know, it's got fundamental principles like, you know, don't gamble and hold and believe, and being, you know, against the kind of wealthy 1%. Yeah, it does have some similarities, don't get me wrong. But it's an icon. It's an icon. You know, what SPX does not have is that. Look, SPX is this. This is what SPX is. We are looking at a $2 billion coin that has no discernible qualities. Like, let's just say your average, you know, 25-year-old or 30-year-old, right? If they look at these two logos and refusing to, you know, go on X or go on YouTube and just hear what the, you know, what the grapevines say, like the YouTubers say, and just they're just looking themselves. You know, they're going on CoinMarketCap or they're going looking at trending on Dex Screener. What do you think is a coin that would stand out without all the hype and fanfare? It's Dowge, easily, because immediately this is something that stands out. It is like Shiba Inu in terms of having a dog mascot, but it's different. You know, it looks like something you would see on Wall Street. It looks serious, right? Which is a complete differentiation from Shiba. So it stands out as an icon. So for anybody that says that Dowge is an SPX dupe, like, honestly, those people are just bigoted. They're ignorant. They have not looked into it, and they are just offering some willy-nilly opinion. Oh, it's just like SPX. No, it's not like SPX. It stands out well above most SPX, Temu SPX wannabes. They're all shit. They really are. They're dog shit cryptocurrencies. Oh, by the way, bear with me 1 second while I just share this over to the GPOX, which means the good people of X. So bear with me 1 second. Right, there we are. Sherry's X. Put a little bit of bump. Oh yeah, posted. It's posted. So anybody who would insult Dowge like that is somebody who hasn't got any education, and that's why I'm here, to educate. So look, you can't do this with SPX. So when it comes to the memetics and the memes, you cannot do with SPX what you can do with Dowge. You cannot have icons like this, this, this. You cannot have this. Right? This is outstanding marketing because you are bringing life to something like SPX. Like SPX is a mere, look, it's just a mere, it's just got text and some whirlpool-y kind of graphic behind it. And that's it. This is a meme. This is a meme. So not only, like SPX, is it a movement, stroke mission, stroke counterculture, stroke spiritual cryptocurrency, but it's actually a meme coin too. And let's face it, meme coins are what people gravitate to. That is what retail investors will gravitate to, so long as you've got these being spread like wildfire, which the Trinites are here for. That is the point of the Trinites, right? Just like you've got the Aeons, or Eons, or whatever they're called, right? Who are spreading the word of SPX, which are having diminishing returns. Because they've already, converted a lot of people. They've already got over 100,000, followers or holders. Whereas DJI6930 has not got anywhere near that. It's only got 14,000. At this point, it's just over 10% the entire holder base of SPX. And at the same time, it's kind of 30x less. So the maths are not quite mathsing, are they? If you think about it, there's more hodlers per market cap than you've got with SPX. So that's making a point. There's a mania phase going on right now with Dowge. It's a mania, right? It's all of these things. It incorporates so many things. And I think that the more that this cult is around, the more that people will become part of that cult. Their behaviors will reflect the cult. Right now, what I'm seeing, and of course there is going to be some form of teething stage where people are still kind of looking at charts, people are still trading, people are still selling. People are not quite of the whole don't trade, believe only, a principle of Dowge, because it's only been out 3 weeks, right? So people who have been degens are struggling with just being able to just believe, right? I haven't sold a single cent of this. My wallet is still intact, and I plan on not selling it, even though it got up to an 87 million market cap, and I didn't sell at all, and don't regret not selling, because I am already there. Like, I've already matured. Like, I don't need to. I've been wanting an asset like this, something that actually encourages on a soul level, not just a kind of airy fairy don't trade crap, right? Because actually, if you just held and didn't trade this at the beginning, you would have made huge profits, right? So the more you believe, the more it will actually work out, and the more you broadcast, the more people will be brought into the mission. So there's so many things. It's a family, it's a belief system, pure faith asset, and of course people like this at first because it's got 337 likes, but people kind of looked at it at first and they thought, yeah, that sounds good, but then ultimately, as I see in my comments, people they don't have the staying power. But over time, when you fight the demons telling you to sell and to gamble, then you will be all right, because there's just so many aspects to this course, so many layers that makes this worth holding, and so many external reasons why this is going to boom. And all we've had right now is just this initial pump, just like what happened with Pepe. What happened with Pepe at the beginning was it kind of came out like you wouldn't think this right now. And most of you have probably forgotten anyway. When Pepe first came out, there was all these stories of somebody that turned $250 into $5 million, and everybody was all fanfaring about Pepe, right? And then kind of a few months later, there was a massive sell-off of Pepe, which is when I got in. A massive sell-off of Pepe, where all of a sudden, because the House of Cards kind of collapsed, and, what was a high valuation just kind of collapsed to, lost 90, more than that % of its value, people sold and people panic sold. That's when I got in, right? And then made a huge multiplier from when I got in into its latest top, right? And I think it's going to go higher. But the point of the matter is that every coin goes through this. Every coin does have its kind of first pump. You know, this went almost a complete straight line up to 90 million, right? 90 million, think about it. That's huge. That has destroyed most meme coins at that point, right? And it's come down, and it's come down like 50%, but it's not really come down an awful lot more than that, right? Okay, maybe a little bit more because some people just can't get the hang of it, and that's fine. You know, if you wanna get out early, I'd rather you were out, because I want people who choose belief over greed. So ultimately, the people who leave, I don't care. You know, those people, they're out, they got their profit, good, fine, fuck off then. But they are going to be regretting it ultimately, because what they've done is they have sold into, you know, essentially this crash of altcoin appetite and this crash of, you know, Bitcoin, this recovery of Bitcoin dominance. That's what they've done. They've sold at the worst possible time, just like the people who sold Pepe, right? So anyway, as far as memes go, you know, this has got incredible memetics, you know, way better than SPX. Like SPX, what can you really make out of SPX? What SPX have done is they have gotten Mary Rose from Dead or Alive, with the Dead or Alive fighting series, right? And made her the icon. It makes no sense to no one, to anybody. So yeah, you can make kind of memes out of it, but they're very, very abstract. Like, people don't really understand it. This is not abstract. You know, Dowge is not abstract. It's very, very clear what Dowge is. A dog mascot, right? So, you know, so therefore, you know, on a memetics point of view, memes and memetics, like, it completely destroys SPX. Let's look at what else, right? So, you know, so it's got Doge Bonk, Pepe Popcat, Flocky with Brett, and SPX, right? So it's basically capturing a lot of the most bullish qualities of the main meme coins, right? Is what you got in Dowge, right? Dowge is like an everything coin, right? Logo, Wall Street. So what you've got is you have got a perfect symbiosis of, you know, what degens love, the commercial value of what retail investors love as well in cryptocurrencies. You have got the legitimate depictions and images of Wall Street. You know, you've firstly got the logo, which, like I said, kind of looks like Stratton Oakmont from Wolf of Wall Street. You know, it's kind of a piss take if you think about it. I don't know if that was the you know, inspiration behind it, but essentially that's what it looks like, right? So it looks like a Wall Street logo, like a Wall Street company. Then you got the ticker, DJI, Dow Jones Index, right? So if we just go have a look at, you know, if we go have a look on TradingView, and you can see that amongst, you know, the most kind of iconic and well-established tickers is DJI. It's one of the most established. And that's the prefix of Dowge, right? So it's got all of the kind of Wall Street stuff too. So it's right in the middle. So it's kind of got commercial and degen factors, traditional finance factors, and then crypto, kind of the serious side of crypto factors. Okay, so anyway, going back to this movement and mania. Okay, so that's happening right now. You know, the Trinites have been, and I've been reposting them, and I'm hoping that they'll wake up a little bit more as well. But the mania phase of the Trinites was absolutely giant. Was amazing. It's like Beatlemania, right? Beatlemania, the band back in the '60s. You know, the group Paul McCartney, John Lennon, etc., Ringo Starr, and the other one. You know, I do know his name, but anyway, right? So you had Beatlemania, right, where, you know, women were just absolutely crazy for the Beatles, and what you've got right now is a crypto market absolutely manic for Dowge, and that's why you've got the tickers. Not the tickers. That's why you've got the memes. You've got the text accompanying the memes. Very, very consistent amongst the Trinites. So you've got a very, very consistent mania phase. And then what you've got here is you have got, you know, you've got the TradFi meta. So cryptos that have a TradFi quality. And as we've seen already, you know, this has been a beneficial thing to have, because, of course, this with everything, the EBZT. So having this quality actually makes it stand out. You do not have this. This is a unique quality in crypto completely. Completely. Even the Temu SPXs, they are basically just versions of the SPX logo. All right, so it's just a coin with some shit writing on it, right? They are not worth your anything. They're not even worth like 20 cents of your investment. They are dog shit lazy idiots. Whereas this one is a unique take on a TradFi meta coin. It's obviously got RWA qualities. You know, like House Coin, you know, you've kind of got that exposure to real world assets, to the stock market. So it basically incorporates amongst the most popular narratives, which is Ondo. There's so many people are Ondo, right? And then obviously it's a TradFi crypto disruptor. The whole point of the crypto market was to be a disruptor to traditional finance, you know, to have an alternative payment system, which is what Bitcoin is. So now what you've got is you've got Doge Bonk, Pepe Popcat, Shib Flocky Whiff, Brett SPX, Bitcoin, Ondo, Housecoin. You've got basically, you've got qualities from the top, most hyped, most talked about cryptocurrencies in one coin. And you're telling me that this is a SPX dupe? Like, you have literally got to be retarded, because SPX has none of this. It does have this, does have the ticker, and it does have a mania, and I suppose to an extent has RWA. But other than that, it's missing all of this factor, which is the most important thing in meme coins. They are meme coins for a reason. And yes, this is a movement coin, but it's also at its heart under the classification of meme coin. Now, I remember when I brought you this cheat sheet like a few months ago, and I said that the cryptocurrencies that are going to be the most successful are ones that are identity coins. Ones where you say, I am it. You know, I am millennial. I am Dowge. I am X coin, whatever coin, right? Now, you can't say that with Pepe. You can't say, I am Pepe, because you're not a frog, for starters, and you don't do stupid frog faces. So that's not an identity coin. It's pure meme. Whereas this is an identity coin. Like, you are identifying yourself as a person who is, you know, wanting to be part of this poor versus rich rebellion. Right? You are a person that stands for something. Like, you're not just gambling with some random meme coins. Like, this is a coin that's meant to be a badge, like a guides badge or whatever it is that you've got in your or scouts badge, whatever. It's a badge of honor. It's a badge to say, this is what I stand for. Like in cryptocurrency, this is what I stand for. And that's why people have adopted the Trinite, you know, emojis. I have. And, you know, if you have a look at, you know, the people, you know, I'm following right now, I mean, look, they are pretty much all Trinites, right? There's tons and tons. There's just tons of Trinites. People who have actually taken the time to put these emojis in front of their name. And look, they all identify as Trinites. So this is a pure identity movement, okay? So lots of people are proud to be Trinites, and they put it on their X as a badge of their allegiance to it. It's a poor versus rich rebellion, okay? Because it's just like, the Dow Jones is for the 1%. You know, they are not only the people that control money, but they control society. They control behaviors. Like, certain radical movements that exist. I'm not going to talk about them because, you know, you may agree with them, you may not. And there are some that I may agree with and I may not. So I won't say what they are, but what I'll say is that these radical movements, these things that are there to divide others, like saying, you know, these segment of people should be against these segment of people, this gender should be against this gender, or blah, 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 right? That's all controlled by the 1%. Like, there's a reason why the Illuminati, people believe in the Illuminati, because, you know, the people who are, you know, presidents or prime ministers or heads of state, you know, people are saying, you know, they are puppets, right? There is a real power behind them. And if you watch something like House of Cards, you know, that kind of shows it to be true. So what you've got is you have got a humongous divide between the poor and the rich, where the rich just keep getting richer. And GME, GameStop, which was an event that that took place back in 2021, where you had a group of retail investors versus the rich wealth bankers and what have you, short sellers and all that kind of thing. You had the ultimate battle, which the poor won, right? And so Dowge is a symbol of that fight, right? Where it's the poor versus the rich, where poor people will be rich as a result of the rebellion, which is flipping the Dow Jones Index. Then we've got counterculture themes, right? So by counterculture, what's meant by that is a culture that stands against a modern movement. So like I was saying with these isms, with all these various radical movements that exist in time today, it's cool to be part of these movements, it's cool to be, what have you, all right? And if you're counterculture, that means that you are essentially rebelling against modern culture. And that's what this is. So this is not only, replicating a lot of the bullish qualities about cryptos, traditional finance, serious cryptos, but also philosophical elements too. So this is like Woodstock. So Woodstock was kind of like, well, you had all these wars back in the 60s and 70s, and Woodstock was like, right, let's just have peace. Let's have a big peace event that contrasts with war and, megalomaniac, right? Megalomania. And punk was a movement that stood against the yuppie movements of the 80s. The rich, what's the word? Just the sheer money and greed of the 80s, right? So punk was like was a counterculture to those particular, those particular cultures that existed in society back then, right? And this is the same thing. Like, this is breaking of that culture. This is standing out and saying, I'm not, a sheep, and I'm not controlled by the top 1%. And so these are the qualities, and you can see they are multitudinous. Like, I can't understand why, if you look at all these, I cannot understand for a second why you would be bearish on Dowge. Because you just, that's the problem. At this point, people are just so mesmerized by price. And eventually people will get it. Eventually people will not look at price. But this is why it's said that it takes 6 months for a cult movement to actually mature. It takes 6 months. Because, for the people to essentially abide by the principles of a particular cult, they have to have been in it for a while and be immersed in it and have their behaviors change consistently for there to be any kind of, meaningful change. So, people are so mesmerized by price, and that's what Dowge is against anyway. So the people who are mesmerized by price see the price good, and they're like, yeah, okay, my profits are gone, I'm just going to get out. They were never Trinites in the first place. They never belonged in the first place, right? And I'm very, very strict about this myself. Like, unless you show the qualities of Dowge, you're out. Okay? It may sound very, very radical. It may sound like Scientology, where you had, what's his name? David, I want to say, I can't remember his name, but the guy who was the head of the Church of Scientology. And he was, if anybody defied Scientology, they're out, right? And not only are they out, but they're kind of stalked, right? They're stalked because they talk crap about the Scientology, so they get stalked. I think David I can't remember, I can't say his name, but anyway. Yeah, that's how I see this. This is a real strong cult. It's a radical cult, right? You are either for the cult, stop trading, stop gambling, and hold and believe, or you're out, right? So, and I think that's happening naturally anyway. People are leaving, and that's fine. Because that means the people who truly believe are going to hold the fort and allow for stronger price action in the future. Because now look what I'm going to cover. So we've got the strong qualities, okay? These are all the bullish qualities of Dowge. So if anybody says to you, why Dowge? Why not some shit coin, right? I'm not going to mention names, but there is a shitcoin everybody's buying right now. They're fucking idiots for doing, right? Because that stands for nothing. You'll know what it is, I'm sure. Right? That's it. David Miscavige. Thank you very much, Greg. Yes. Right? So, yeah. So, look, this stands for something in many, many ways. So, if anybody ever asks you why Dowge, here it is. Like, you'd have to be a moron not to see how strong the qualities are of this. But then what we've got is the boosts, okay? So not only have we got the qualities, but we've got what will enable this to get pushed over the next, 6 months, 9 months, whatever, however long this bull market, however long it lasts, right? So firstly, we are pre-altcoin season, right? So we have not had the banana zone, the hockey stick at the end, where 95% of the move happens in the last 5% of the market. We have not had that. And that is really where you want to be in the strongest assets. You need to be in them then, because that's where they just go crazy. Crazy. 5 to 7 months of a euphoria stage. So what we have had so far is we have had a bull market and bull trends within a bull market. But basically, the final trend tends to be the most violent. Okay, so we have got potential 5 to 7 months build up and conclusion of euphoria. Then we have got a bullish macro environment. So we have got, potential lowering of interest rates. Who knows? Potentially Powell out. That's what kicked off a lot of this, latest bull trend is Powell out, right? So a bullish macro environment, which we haven't had really for 4 years, 3 years, right? Ever since the conclusion of the last bull market, we haven't had a bullish macro environment. So a bullish macro environment is likely to exacerbate the movement of DJI6930. Obviously, increased noise on X. So we are having the mania happening. And this is a key reason why we've got 14,000 hodlers, because this has spread very widely, very virally. And the more noise there is, the greater the network effect. Memecoin super cycle. In my opinion, this has not come. So we had a memecoin super cycle March last year, or concluded March last year. We had a memecoin boom in November last year as well. So that's where we had SPX go from 1 cent to $1.50, right? So we've had a memecoin super cycle. We've had a memecoin cycle, but we have not had the memecoin super cycle. So the memecoin super cycle is different in the respect that this is where the masses come in at the end, the dumb retail. Now, in my opinion, we have had drip feeding of that. Okay, so we have had people coming in that are completely new to crypto, which typically only happens at the end of the cycle. But we have had 2 kind of bursts of that in this bull market already. But I think the last one is going to be the most vicious one, right? And what you need to be in is something that is pre-critical mass for this memecoin super cycle, of which DJI6930 is. Then, obviously, at this point, right, Dowge has gotten to where it's gotten to, like 86 million market cap. It's gotten there without exchanges and with a few amount of influencers. Now, of course, as this cult sticks around, has longevity, matures and gets more and more behavior changes, increased noise on X is going to be more people, and then the more people you have, once you have 20,000 hodlers, then very quickly it becomes 40,000, and then 40,000 becomes 80,000, and it just keeps doubling, because the bigger the network effect grows, the greater the ripple, right? So at this point we haven't got exchanges, we haven't got influencers, and at this point we haven't needed them either, because the community has kind of through osmosis just grown anyway. We've got a TradFi hosted memecoin ETF in this, right? This is essentially an ETF, right? So, this meme strategy, right, is what people are going... This meme strategy spin-off is what people on the NASDAQ, potential NASDAQ listing, right? So people are going to have exposure to meme coins via Wall Street, via the NASDAQ, right? So you can clearly see the adoption is occurring. So TradFi memecoin ETF, and in my opinion, DJI6930 fits perfectly in that. considering what they've chosen so far, it fits perfectly. Like, the profile is perfect. And then last of all is the delusional target, right? So just like the XRP army, just like the SPX guys, just like Bitcoin maximalists as well, in the past of Bitcoin go to 1 million, Bitcoin and, things like that, Shiba going to $1 and things like that. So delusional targets work. When there is an ambitious, but you can see that there's realism in it. Like XRP to $589. Like, to me, that's completely unrealistic. But that's not shared by others. Other people think that that is realistic. And some morons, some big YouTubers that I've seen, I think I saw Da Vinci today, actually. What did Da Vinci do? So Da Vinci did, he said something ridiculous. There he is. XRP to 4,771. I mean, what a twat. But in making that video, he got 42,000 views, whereas his other videos are getting like under 10k, right? So he's just doing complete, what's the word I'm looking for? Engagement farming. He's doing community farming from doing that. He just wants a bunch of XRP idiots to follow him, right? But that's the kind of thing you can expect from Dowge as well, because when this becomes a bigger mania than it is, and I shared this over on Twitter earlier, actually, which is that what I found at first when I was making DJI6930 content is people were finding my content through SPX. So SPX was up here, and it was like up here, it was like 90% of the search terms that were getting people to my videos. But now DJI6930 is the top search result for my videos. So that's showing that now, and SPX has been relegated to third instead of first. So this is showing that SPX's powering and relevance is actually diminishing compared to DJI6930. So you've got a tangible visual of how DJI6930 is now already overtaking in mindshare, the meme TradFi space. Right? So, anyway, what was the point I was making? So the point I was making is that, the mindshare is growing, the amount of people, investing and holding will be growing, and then as a result of that, eventually, it will be cool to make a video on Dowge is going to $5, or Dowge is going to $10. Like, I can imagine that, Win All Day, might make a video like that, or 100x gems, and they'll get tons of views for that. Because that's what the army want to hear. So it's no good saying sell DJI6930, because no one's going to bother looking at that. Just like people who would put sell XRP. No one's going to bother looking at that either. But if somebody puts as a thumbnail XRP to $10,000, like, it's so stupid, but people will watch that. And similarly with this, it's going to be a meme to say Dowge to $5, Dowge to $10, Dowge to $100. And by doing that, it's going to spread more awareness of Dowge, and more holders are going to come as a result. And so you've got all these qualities and all these boosts. And with that in mind, how could you not be extremely bullish on the future of Dowge? That's my question to you. There we are, right, people. Right, okay, I'm going to take some of your questiones now. And also, if I could bother you for, as I used to say on YouTube, if I could bother you for a quick like spike and just tap a like on this video. There we are. Tapped. I would be very, very grateful. And let me now have a look at some of the things that you guys are saying. In the meantime, let me just get something cool to look at in the background. That is awesome. And look, I mean, Bitcoin has been languishing, as has Ethereum in the past week, and yet Dowge has just been a beauty. Hold on, let me just delete some dickhead who said, SOH. That is the shittest cryptocurrency. Anybody that gets that is literally a dunce. Super, can you do a tier list of your best projects? I probably could, actually. And will, I imagine. Can SBX hit 100 billion? Yeah, he can. It can hit 100 billion. I don't think it will. I think it's more likely to hit 20 billion, but you know, you never know, do you? All my eggs are in the Dowge basket. Why water yourself down? I completely agree. GM Superstar. I've seen Dowge rise. I've seen it fall. I haven't sold. I don't intend to sell. I'm a believer. And I believe that DJI6930 is going to capture the hearts of people. I agree. And I'm foretelling that is exactly what's going to happen. You know, the people who are so caught up in day-to-day price action are going to miss it. And good. You know, they deserve to. The people who are hodlers deserve to win. And that's why Jeets lose, believers win. I sold all my XRP for Dowge. Nice one. What do you think Dowge markup? I don't think about that, right? It's not about charts. I'm not looking at it as a multiplier coin. I'm looking at it as a belief coin. And I believe that the potential for this is limitless. And to put a figure on it is not being true to myself. So AWR's 200% up in the past 7 days. Well, it's not a surprise. I mean, look, I'm not here to be relied upon to pump these coins. I bring awareness of these coins, but at the same time, they do work too. You know, they do work and their community does work. And just like what was happening with Dowge, you know, strong communities will win. You know, so, you know, that's why I think All Will Retire was good. I get rid of another spastic. No to baby dad. I agree, TBH. We are a cult. Yes, we are a cult. Occult. OCCULT. Look at this. This is really fantastic stuff. I know that sounds really like but look, it's so easy to create a fantastic meme with Dowge. Like every single look, like this for instance, like every single meme coming out of Dowge, fucking awesome. Look, it's just so it's colourful, it's meme worthy, shareable, great marketing. Like I have not seen better memes than this. Tell me someone that does better memes than this. This is fantastic. And they stand out because of the three-headed dog. It's perfection. Dowge has the best community. Yeah, I agree with you. It has. Super, can we look at subs? No, I don't want to look at stupid coins. The substance is a dumb coin. Dowge is for us plebs. Dow Jones is for the oligarchs. Exactly. And that is why this is so much of an identity coin. Because of that exact reason. Momo's good. I really like Momo, to be fair. Do I think it's as strong as Dowge? No. I don't think Momo is as strong as Dowge. But I like Momo. I think it's got great branding. Really like it. And it's got that angle too. There are so many shit meme coins. So many cryptocurrencies that are dog cryptocurrencies. Like this one probably is one of them. How is this 5 million? It's fucking retarded anyway. Oh no, Bonkyo. Sorry. Okay, it's got a slight angle there. I'm just trying to find some dumb cryptocurrency. Some dumb stupid dog coin. Like, I think that they failed so bad that they're not even here anymore. Anyway, this is just another Temu SPX. So fucking retarded. Okay, I can't really find any decent. I can't find any dog coins here. That's an otter. Can't find any dog coins. But that's because I'm on the trending. Like, I'm not looking at the trenches, you know, pre-trending, because, you know, the new coins coming out on pump.fun, like, they have no angle at all. But you know, Momo has an angle. You're not a frog. Kiflon, brother. It's like I am Negan. Exactly. Let's have a look. Oh, there we are. I am Negan. Exactly. Oh man, where's my baseball bat? I could do that. Anyway. Momo is also good. I have a bag of Momo. Dowge is like games. Exactly. It's the GameStop. It's the GameStop of crypto. Exactly. Right, I think that is it. I think I've gotten to the end of questions, I want to say. I mean, there are lots of questions, but they're quite old. You can buy a Lucille. I have a Lucille bat. When I see YouTubers shilling the top 20 coins, you are so right. What is the point? Yeah, exactly. I mean, YouTube is a cesspit. YouTube is just completely pointless. Unless, of course, you're watching me. It's completely pointless. Like, there are some good, you know, up-and-coming content creators. I've seen a few this week. You know, the ones that are covering Dowge and Momo. You know, there's some good up-and-comers coming. Those are the ones people should be watching. But just like the stock market, it's almost like there is some kind of coordinated media campaign where, like, it's almost like the big channels are almost sponsored. They're almost helped in an invisible way. Like, there are some YouTubers, I'm not going to name any names, but there are some YouTubers that get ridiculous amounts of views, and they are nothing special at all. Like, their calls are dog shit. But they say all the right things about all the top coins or about certain narratives that I believe the kind of crypto Illuminati want to push. So I believe those crypto YouTubers are given a kind of helping hand, right? And I do think that exists. You know, there is some people you watch that are paid media and you just don't know it, right? And those people are honestly shit, to be fair. Alex Becker isn't one of them, but his calls are shit. What about We Love Ass? Well, if you believe in it, you believe in it. If you don't, you should never have been in it. Like, the people who are saying to me, oh, what about this? What about this? Like they need me to call it. I think Ass is a fantastic coin. You don't need me for that. But I will be covering it. You know, I will be covering it in the future. Like, I have already, you know, pledged my allegiance to Ass. Although I prefer feet any day of the week. I mean, coin. Super. Well, will there be a time we can rotate in some meme profits into another narrative like AI? You could, but in my opinion, this narrative, this alt season, this euphoria is going to belong to memes and AI. So you've got to find something special in AI if you're going to be rotating into them. Super. Is it true that you and Crypto Gains have beef? No, we don't have beef. Dowge will be the hottest meme ever. Yes, I mean, it's already showing it as well. Thoughts on Spom and Feet coin? Yeah, they're both fun. They're both fun coins. I mean, nothing in my opinion. In my what I would say extremely learned opinion, not trying to sound like a lawyer at all. Dowge is the best thing I've seen in 8 years. You know, it's right. It's the best thing I've seen. Right? I don't know how you can argue with the fundamentals of it. Just look at it. Like, it's all of these things whilst having its own unique identity. Can tits go back up? Yeah, if you have a good boob job, there's no reason why not. What's your thoughts on Toshi? It's very high market cap. What's the point? Dollar Coin and Bruvs. Have you checked them out? No, because they sound stupid. Can you check Dej? Dej is dead. Act B. So dumb. Why is Crypto Gains not covering Dowge? Because he is covering another coin. He is covering his own version of Dowge. Love all your content, Supo. I'm a proud Momo holder and welcome. Fuck 95 has the best distribution. Agreed? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a gander at let's have a gander at Fuck 95. More than a woman. Oh, whoops. Should have just done that one. More than a woman. More. Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. And it's Friday. For some reason, the analytics is not coming up for it. Try it again. Might be too busy. Yeah, it might be too... 12.21, yeah. But, having said that, you know, it's only got 3,000 hodlers at this stage. So it's not really an indicative figure to be doing a distribution score. Like, you need to have kind of 10,000. I would say on or around about 10,000. I would say if you're approaching 10,000, like 7.5, 8, you're getting there. But I would say that a rule of thumb is see how it is after about 10,000 hodlers. That's a better rule of thumb. But having said that, you know, distribution is good. Yeah, it's very good. Oh, hold on. 80. Let me just have a quick look at... I think the Dow's just gone down a little lately. In terms of... what's it called? Distribution score. But nothing major. Like, it's still a big hitter, to be honest. It's still doing fantastically. What's your thoughts about Momo? I've given my thoughts. I think it's good. Love all your content, Super. I'm proud Momo. Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that one. But I just like it because it says, you know, nice stuff about me, which I always enjoy. Yeah, distribution score's gone down a tiny bit. But having said that, the HI is better. The Herd-Findal-Hirschman index. Like, consistently, these two are stronger than that of FUC95. Even with, you know, kind of 5 times the hodlers as well. Okay. So, people, I appreciate... Dude, your internet must be smoking it so fast. Are you ribbing me? So, people, thank you very much for turning up on this Friday evening, and I shall be letting you go. Hope you have a great weekend, people. But until then, keep douging, keep going, Trinites. We have got the best cult since Scientology, and I actually like. Actually, is it Scientology? Maybe the Epsilon program from, you know, GTA 5. Like, this is the best cult of crypto. Like, it stands for something. And we have got an idol in Dowge, the 3-headed dog, which SPX6900 do not have. They've got some random blonde from a fighting game. This makes no fucking sense. Yeah, look. We've got a dog. It's the fucking best. Right? I've been Superman. You have been awesome. And I'll see you next time. It is lights out. All out.